Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid South Wrestling Review Series for July the 6th, 1985. And we open with Terry Taylor and the Eddie Gilbert arguing over who is the rightful number one contender for the North American Championship held by the Nightmare, otherwise known as the Champion. That argument continues for a minute. Ted DiBiase comes on in. Ted DiBiase basically says he wants to be given the chance to prove that he is the number one contender. He will take the match, and the number one contenders match will commence. DiBiase lights up Taylor quite a number of times. Irish whip by DiBiase. Taylor sends him to the other corner. Hard shot to the midsection, and Taylor with a knee lift. Winner of this match will be your number one contender for the North American Championship. Taylor sends DiBiase to the back, and ultimately, really good match here. DiBiase off the ropes and ducks the head. Does Taylor? Taylor manages to grab an elbow drop right across the back of the neck. Taylor with a near fall quickly off the crossbody drives DiBiase into the mat a couple of times, and then holds right onto the arm. Terry Taylor, probably one of the most underrated guys in terms of baby faces in the area at this time. Taylor holding on to the arm and kind of tries to roll through, doesn't get all he wants on it. DiBiase switches onto the arm and is dominant throughout. They wrestle based around the arm for the next several minutes. Neither guy getting a clear-cut advantage. They probably work the arm for about 2 or 3 minutes here. DiBiase with a cheap shot, breaking things off and getting backed up by the referee. Hard kicks by DiBiase. Then they stomp right across the top of the face. Diving diagonal punch by DiBiase. DiBiase there with several shots. Irish whip by DiBiase, and again goes for the back elbow. Manages to get the backslide. Does Taylor? Taylor manages to get about a 2.5. Almost gets the pinfall. DiBiase drops the knee right across the head of Taylor. Taylor caught in a reverse chinlock. DiBiase trying to crank on the head and arm. Match worth going out of your way to see if you like either one of these guys, and who wouldn't like Ted DiBiase. Terry Taylor again, criminally underrated for this time in history. Series of elbows by Taylor. Taylor tries to take DiBiase back into the corner, drives a couple of shoulders into his chest, and a couple of chops. DiBiase goes to the top rope, doesn't get or second rope on the inside. Taylor manages to clock him, coming off with a double axe handle, doesn't get what he wants. DiBiase begging off. Not too many places for him to go. Irish whip by Taylor. Hard clothesline. DiBiase goes tumbling to the mat, and Taylor tries to get an advantage. DiBiase goes to work on the leg, hooks the figure four. As we've seen in previous matches, DiBiase has been working the figure four for a long time. Taylor, after being in the hold for about 30-45 seconds, hooks the hold and reverses it on DiBiase. Finally, they get broken up. DiBiase goes into the trunks, grabs a weapon, loads up the glove, and nails the later Red Rooster with it in a moment here. Needless to say, Taylor is knocked out. 1, 2, 3, DiBiase your winner. Then we go to a championship match of a different sort. Dutch Mantell versus the Snowman for the Mid-South television title. Mantell and Snowman have been feuding for a little while here. Snowman is a super powerful guy, and the Snowman is looking to be in really good shape here, kind of jacked up and ready to go. Doesn't really necessarily have to be the best of the matches, just a match that he can gain control in, and without a doubt, he certainly can do that. Snowman bounces Mantell around. Mantell does a good bit of selling for the foreseeable future here. Mantell backs him into the ropes, gets a kick to the midsection. Mantell's super basic offense, but that's all he needs to be. Meanwhile, Snowman punches, kicks, referee having some difficulty backing him off. Double shoulder tackles, Snowman to the outside, Snowman down on the floor. Referee gets knocked out as well. And ultimately, there is a victory for Dutch Mantell, and he is handed the championship as a result. Must have been a no DQ style match or something. Anyway, Kamala and Muhammad versus Sanders and Hallbrook. And of course, Kareem Muhammad, the Zambui Express, Don Sanders, Glenn Hallbrook, no real competition. Zambui Express does a lot of rolling in the early stages, does not take a backward step, lots of chops, lots of punches and kicks. Kamala comes in, does more of the same, double back chop and hard shots by Kamala. Zambui Express comes back in and doesn't give any quarter. Kamala comes back in and continues his assault on his adversaries. Both guys hit splashes. Both guys annihilate their opponents here. And ultimately, we go to Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Wendell Cooley. Not a match worth writing home about here. Williams, though, has continued to be one of the better talent in the area for sure. And, he uses that more collegiate style wrestling work and then takes Cooley down relatively easily. Doesn't get all he wants on it, but gets enough to get the advantage. Cooley comes back to his feet, attempts to wrestle Williams again, takes him down. And a couple of kicks to the back of the leg by Cooley. Cooley works the leg of Dr. Death for a couple of minutes, doesn't get all he wants on it. Dr. Death still one half of your Mid-South Tag Team Champions with Ted DiBiase. Hard shots, and then the Oklahoma Stampede attempt, or actually body slam attempt by Dr. Death. Cooley brings him out, hits a back elbow, and looks like he could get at least a little bit of an advantage, but Dr. Death eventually does hook him up for that Oklahoma Stampede 1, 2, 3 in the middle. And Jake Robertson, the Barbarian, versus Daniels and Lane up next, and certainly without a doubt that is a super simple match without saying. Obviously Robertson, the Barbarian, no major challenges for them as of yet. Anyway, Barbarian kind of stalking around trying to get things fired up. Hard shots by the Barbarian. Irish whip by the Barbarian, and comes off the ropes with a major clothesline. Manages to power and one hand slam his adversary. Roberts comes in with a short kick on Lane, and pretty dominant shot under the chin of Lane. Roberts basically begging Daniels to come in, wants an extra challenge, and signaling to the Barbarian. Breaks the match down into a reverse chinlock, does Roberts. Roberts lays on the man, basically trying to get Daniels to come in, and hard shot, tag off to the Barbarian once again. Barbarian comes in, as does Daniels. Daniels gets a drop kick on the Barbarian, nothing major. Roberts comes back in. Daniels basically caught in a 2-on-1. Not a place that he wants to be by any stretch of the imagination, and military press slam by the Barbarian, super strength. Daniels up in the lights, and the full Nelson, I guess you'd say, submission by the Barbarian gets the victory there. Tommy Pritchard and the, I believe, debuting Al Perez. Perez comes in, relatively young guy. Perez slips over a German suplex, 1, 2, 3, less than 30 seconds into the match. Super debut for Perez here, and managed to do quite well. Night Out with the Fantastics, basically. Music video kind of concept there. The Red Raider and Paul Brown are the adversaries for the Fantastics going forward. And Fantastics making their way in blue sequined long robes. Of course, Rogers and Fulton are your Fantastics. And they have about less than 2 minutes. But they make their way in, get everything they need to get done in that time span. Fulton works over the arm, gets on the arm, hooks up the Red Raider, who is in a masked situation. Tag off to his partner Paul Brown. Brown and Tommy Rogers in there. Then a backdrop by Rogers on the to the benefit of, or to the detriment of Brown. They cinch up on the arms, manage to hook up, and then a head scissors by Rogers. Rogers takes the man over, tries to get an advantage. Brown continues to fight back, and then we see a suplex, snap style, and a I guess second rope splash by Rogers gets the victory. We'll be back with more of August of 1985 here, or I'm sorry, I think, yeah, July of 85 here in Mid-South Wrestling.